Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on YouTube. Dave here in the garage. Okay, so last week we smoothed out this stuff as much as we kind of could. This go around we got to kind of knock this down, give it all a bit of a sand, and hopefully not rub through in too many places. Maybe a bit of a spot prime here and there, and then start hitting it with some colour. So that'll be exciting. So let's get into it. Okay, so at the end of last week's video I noticed I had kind of not got this area here very nice, so after saying, you know, rubbing through the primer, I'm already through the primer. I'm just trying to get a little bit of this edge back in again. Sharpen it up somewhat, but it's a bit wobbly in the metal, so it'll be what it's going to be. Hopefully it will just be better than what I just had. Anyway, just using a bit of 320, so just going to get sanding. Alright, so we're all kind of rubbed back. As you can see, got a rub throughs in a couple of places. I did notice she's a bit thin up there as well, and up under here. Didn't sand that very well. And rubbed through various sort of spots on the whole kind of shebang. So I'm just mixing up a little bit of primer just to go around and do a spot prime, and then I'll go around and I'll just Scotch Brite the whole thing in that kind of quad zero sort of scotchy, just to sort of hopefully take out any more sort of sanding scratches, and then you're ready to start sort of putting some colour down after that. So let's do that. Okay, so yeah, spot prime done. Even straining it, still managed to get some shit come out of the gun and on there and on this particular garnish molding here. So I'll let that all kind of sit for a little bit before I kind of clean out the gun and do the final kind of rub back on everything. We're going to put like it's going to be two kind of stages to the color on the console. So even though a lot of this is actually covered up with the aluminium, there is parts of it that isn't. So I am gonna bring some of the kind of off-white that's on the dash, if you remember, into that. I did think about sort of two-toning it in these panels, and then I thought, nah, nah, it'll be too much for my taste, I think. So I'm just going to put a little bit through. I'm trying to decide whether to go to this edge here or come up into here. Oh, there's another pinhole, I think. Yeah, that can stay there. And you know, maybe mask it off there so you can see a little bit more of the white against the aluminium. There's a bit of a break between the aluminium and the turquoisey colour, or tealy colour, I think it is. Still thinking on that just for the minute. Or do I bring something right through, coming up and over? Do the white up through there. And then I could maybe come along that top edge. Nah, it would look weird. It would have to be inset. Follow that line there. And then I could probably pinstripe it or something later on. Maybe another little break line in there. Should I do that? Would that look cool? Or that would look goofy? I don't know. I'd think about that. Okay, so spot prime's done. Just going over all of this with a grey Scotch-Brite now, just to hopefully sort of smooth things out a little bit more. Take any sort of finer scratches that I may have left behind with the old 320. I did find a few other little blemishes on a couple of the garnish mouldings, so they've been spot primed again. And yeah, then hopefully we can squirt some paint on this thing, chicken wing. Probably should do a bit of a vacuum in that before I do start squirting paint around, so we don't get little flyaways and that stuck in it. Hopefully I'll probably pull the door down. I'll have to do that before I vacuum actually, because the door will probably create a bit of dust. Not that we're ever going to get this into a fully dust-free environment, mind you. You guys have seen the state of my garage, so yeah, kind of getting shit in the paint kind of is part of the course around here. I could do all that, you know, hosing the floor and all that kind of stuff, but I think I would just be fighting a losing battle in here. And that's come up better. Managed to sand a bit of the filler out where I kind of screwed up down in here, so it's got a bit of that swage back. It's not absolutely bang on, but it's got a bit of a whoop-de-woo in there anyway, so you know, do what we can do. Okay, so I still haven't really decided whether to bring anything down over the back. I'm trying to decide if I do, what do I do, how do I finish it. Like I kind of sort of semi-thinking about actually just splitting this right down the middle of that edge and then running a pinstripe down it, come right up over here, so the white comes up over here into this tray box, and then, you know, like about 1/8 of an inch off the side of there, and then we can just kind of run a line down it, sort of thing. But I was wondering whether to kind of do something in there or whether to just waterfall it off the end. I haven't decided, so I'm going to paint it anyway in the Area 51 Custom Cream, which is a colour I custom mixed out of just scraps I had in the cabinet for the stuff on the dash. So I'm going to paint it with that anyway. So, or I'm going to paint the end of the console here. It would look better with that turquoise coming down into the black carpet. Don't know. Can always paint over it, so let's do it. Okay, so I'll let that sit up for a bit. Now this is just acrylic lacquer, so it shouldn't be too long before I can actually mask over it. Ideally I'd leave it a bit longer than what I'm planning to. She's touch dry now in places, but soft, so I don't want to kind of like rub any tape down on that just yet. So I still didn't actually vacuum because I cleaned out a container before and it shed a whole bunch of flakes of paint. So that's what I was kind of having trouble with my spot priming, because like yeah, I would love to have the room to have a dedicated paint room, or a spray booth, that you can do all your prep and all that sort of crap out in the main shop, and then have this kind of like, clean room, that you can do engine building and painting in. But I don't know nothing really about engine building. I don't really know that much about painting either, but I've got some sort of old school kind of practices that I've kind of always done, and they've kind of, I wouldn't say do me well all of the time, but I do okay with them some of the time. So we'll do a bit of vacuuming, get that set up. I might go and have myself a cup of coffee because it is 10 o'clock smoko time, and then we'll come back, figure out what I'm going to do with this. am kind of tempted to just run it down, just stepped in 1/8 of an inch and just run it right through, waterfall it at the bottom, and be done with it. And then I could maybe, that would leave me a nice panel. Like if I do pinstripe that edge, I could actually do a little bit of pinstriping on the back of that console just to kind of hide any other blemishes that I'm quite likely to get in the paint. Thinking, hey? Yeah. Right, we'll be back. Okay, so not always thinking, just did a real dumb thing, thought I'll just hang that over there for now, and I sort of put that down over here and it caught all this, and I thought that's not good, and then I pulled it up and it just flipped up a whole bunch of crap onto that fresh paint. But fortunately it's touch dry, and it's all in the kind of area that's going to be covered by the aluminium and that anyway, so sometimes I astound myself. Okay, just got the UV lights on it in the bake oven, and we'll be ready to mask quick smart. Alright, so masking time. I'm just going to run this mask right down this center of this edge. I've already kind of closed off these just so if any overspray kind of comes in when I'm doing the tealy colour, it'll hopefully catch that. It's trickier than I thought it was going to be. means it'll probably be really tricky to hand paint a pinstripe down the centre of it too. Okay, so pretty much ready to start laying some of the tealy colour down. I'm having trouble getting my tape to stick to my tape as usual, and in these inner corners in here it keeps wanting to lift, so I'm just going to give it a final kind of rub before over here fellas, in these kind of internal corners it is wanting to lift. You rub it down and it just doesn't want to stay down like that. So before I actually squirt some paint on it, this will get one final fingernail and then we'll hit it and see what happens. Hopefully not too much will blow through. Yeah, so I'm kind of running a little bit lower pressure than I would used to, I should say, because you know, using the suction guns I used to run like pretty much full noise. But using these high volume, low pressure sort of weapons, they seem to run a little bit different. So I'll see how it goes. Like the cream kind of went on all good, I think. You can see a bit of sanding marks through it, so hopefully won't see too much through this. Yeah, and I'm just using the same old spraying gun. This is one that was gifted to me and it was made up out of various parts. I think from memory it was that one, the one that was given to me because they couldn't get it to spray nicely, and then I just kind of cleaned it all out and it sprayed all right. I have got another nicer, well, supposedly nicer weapon in the shed here, and I've used it a couple of times. This thing here, it's just a cheapie as well, but I don't know whether I might use that on the clear. I'll see how we go with spraying through this and see how it goes. But yeah, equipment has changed and paint's kind of changed a bit since I used to do this a lot. But yeah, we'll just keep muddling through. So anyway, I've got to get some paint in my gun. I've got one actual proper filter left, so I'm doing the old school, the old pantyhose filter. So this will keep the worst of the chunks in that out, but worked on the cream, so well, until I made the mess with the old panel stand. But let's get some paint in the gun and get into it. Okay, so got all my colour on, my teal on. I might give this side here just another quick blow over because I just had to sand a little bit of fluff out of there. Because I've got a couple of bits of fluff in it. Actually got some fluff on it from the tack rag over by the vents. I didn't notice until I went, oh, what's that? And just smoked it, you know, like da, 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 and it went, there it is there, and it's like, what's that thing there? And so I kind of painted it on there, and then I had to kind of try and pick it off, and then I kind of got like finger knuckle marks and that on the paint as well. So it is what it is. I keep lifting and that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a little bit of overspray to kind of clean up on the inside of there, unfortunately. It's a pain, but yeah, so again, I don't know what I'm missing with tape. I might be buying the wrong stuff. But I mean, that little yellow tape's it's a sign kind of tape that I use. But yeah, other tape doesn't stick that well to it, and it's kind of low tack, which is good for when you're working on fresh paint, but not so good if you really want it to stick real good. Probably could have used a vinyl tape, I guess, maybe. But yeah, so I just got to quickly shoot that side and clean out my colour and stuff out of my spray gun. I think I was getting a little bit of crap coming through the gun as well, which is highly likely considering I've been using it for primers and crap. So I wonder if I should use that other one, the green and black one, for my clear, because I think that's all I've used it for in the past. So yeah, but it'll be alright, like hopefully. Tricky painting this stuff hanging. I ideally would have liked to have laid it flat to paint, but I want to make sure I get all the edges really good, and then this stuff in the back side, so if you're looking in the window, like if I miss that edge, you'll see that, because the window fuzzy's got to go on there. But if I'd kind of like sprayed it from the top and didn't paint that back edge, you might get a kind of gap, you know, like it's hard to say. So I'm just trying to make sure I hit everything and hit it so there's colour and clear on everything. So clear, I'm not too fussed whether it's very nice around the back there. I just want to like get some on there, and then I do what I did with the colour, and that's like concentrate on, you know, laying it on from the front. But you know, even with lower air coming through the line, it's still pushing my pieces around a bit, hence ended up grabbing a glove just to try and stabilize it from the back as I was you know, painting. I have seen, just put it out there, I have seen blokes you know, waiting, like when they're got proper paint racks and stuff, they will tie their pieces off from like 4 corners if they can, you know, so they don't blow around. But yeah, I did think maybe I could hang some weights off there, but I also don't want to run the risk of getting too much stuff and making it too heavy and having it fall out of the sky. So anyway, I'll hit that one more coat on that, and then clean out my gear, and then we'll get ready to spray some clear over here. Alright, see how much overspray got under this. Hopefully not too much. That's not bad. Might be able to kind of clean that up with a little bit of what's it? What do you call it? Scotch Brite. Over here, fellas. Where do you look? A little bit fuzzy up there, and a little bit in here. So I might just maybe back mask it with a little bit of Scotch Brite with tape, and then just run a little bit of Scotch Brite and try and just knock that down, just in case I decide not to pinstripe it, or my pinstriping is really unsuccessful, and I should be able to do it. But yeah, I would like to clean that up as much as I can before I throw some clear on this thing, you know. But yeah, so that's the general look. So I've got to remember to clear the cover as well. That most of that you won't even see. It's more this edge is what's going to be seen on the lid, and on the inside, you know, we've got welds and shit showing, but I thought about maybe putting, you know, some kind of like felt or something in there just to dress it up, because we've still got the little bucket thing we're just going to paint black that goes inside here, and then that'll get lined with something as well. But yeah, you can see some sanding scratches. Maybe 320 is not fine enough for that the white, the cream, because I had the same issue on the dash actually, and I'm pretty sure I finished that in 320. This stuff here seems to lay down and fill up, you know, handle 320 as a underneath sanding level, but I think we'll see once we get some proper clear on it. But yeah, so anyway, I need to empty some rubbish bins and stuff, so I'll let that kind of sort of set a little bit more before I try and rub back that little bit of overspray. Okay, so got some clear in the gun, and let's get at it. I did try rubbing back that thing, but it kind of wasn't really going that well. I wish that bird would shut up though. So yeah, I'm going to have to make sure I do a nice line on there when she's all said and done, I think. Okay, so the first mix was a little on the thick side for this lower pressure business, so it went on a little orange peely on that one over there. Hopefully it'll flow out. So I've just thinned my mix a little bit, and hopefully I just won't get any sagging now, so let's go. Okay, so here we are. A little bit of natural light on there. The gloss is just really not there. Yeah, the clear that I used is clear that I've used before, but when I've used it before I have had retarder thinners, which I've gone on and on about this in the past. I cannot get like retarder thinners for like lacquer here nowadays. You can get it out of Aussie, but I doubt they'll ship it. But yeah, the retarder thinners makes all the difference, like for it to kind of go off with a kind of reasonable gloss off the gun. This will polish up, that's not the point. But yeah, I may have to grow up and switch to some 2K stuff, because yeah, not kind of getting the finish that I would have really liked, but it is what it is. So a little bit of polishing and it'll bring it up, but can't do any polishing today obviously because it's still too soft, so it needs a bit of time before you can get into that. But yeah, this is uniformly suede. That's the thing, it's not glossy all over like the dash, you know, but we'll let that sort of harden up and see what we can do with it. Either that or we just put it in and run it. I would have liked a little bit of gloss on it more than I've got, but okay, so it's a little while later. She's dried off, you know, drying off, but obviously, you know, touch dry, but the kind of suede look's kind of growing on me, to be honest. You look at it from this angle and it, you know, it doesn't look too bad. You start moving around here and you go, your ripples and all sorts of crap, but the grand scheme of things, it's going to be, you know, tucked in between seats and stuff like that, so it doesn't have to be super mint. I would have liked it to have been, to be perfectly honest, but you know, not always going to work out the way you like it. But yeah, the suede look, I don't know why it didn't gloss up. I mean, it's not super humid today, but and that's one of the other reasons why I like retarder thinners. It kind of helps promote the gloss as well as stop it absorbing moisture, which makes them go a little bit sort of flat. And these bits here probably, they come up all good, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of happy as with them, but they could have been a little glossier. I might polish those once they've got a little bit of time to settle down and whatnot, or not. Might just screw them in and then they can be suede looking too. But yeah, so I'm not sure what to do next. I might sort of drag out the aluminium parts, because I'm thinking I might paint some of the inserts a little bit. Where are they? On this piece here, I might paint in that inner line. I don't know whether it's overspray or it's just oxidized. It might have just oxidized. Probably should clear coat it or something, but I might just give it a bit of a polish. But I was thinking I might paint those inner parts there, maybe do it in the sort of tealy, turquoisey sort of colour. That's going to go in there like that, or should I do it in the white? I don't know. You can just look at me while I'm thinking. Yeah, no, maybe the white actually. Maybe if I brush the white in here, it'll kind of like tie all this. I thought about bringing this colour into there, but I don't know that I will now actually. Something to think about anyway. I'll take that out of there while it's still soft. Okay, so I'm tossing up between these two colours to put in here. Now that's just ivory. It's a little bit creamier than the white that we've got there, and then this is the colour, what's it called, aqua, that we've used on the front fenders and on the grille of the old Area 51. So I thought maybe we'll just go with this. I'll try it. If I don't like it, I can always go over it, you know. So that's my plan. And just a little update on the one-shot situation in New Zealand. You can get it again now, but it's in these 8-ounce tins, and that is like, what was that? That's just white. That was like $75 New Zealand, and same with the black. And I got some red. I didn't actually even look at the red, that was a last minute thing, but some of the other colors, like the magentas and more expensive pigments, they're up over $100 for one of those. So although they last a long time, it just certainly hurts when you've got to buy them. Anyway, so I'm going to get a brush and get into that. Okay, so that's that inlaid. I think that'll be alright. Looks a bit like the Punisher skull. If anyone's interested, that's an AS Hanover number 4 chisel rider and some one-shot aqua, which is a really nice colour. I do have a liking for that colour. So yeah, right. What's next? I've got to do something with the little bucket that goes in there. It's just in primer at the moment, so I need to paint it. Okay, so I've got some satin black rattle can, kind of do the inside of this. And I thought I might as well just do the rear garnish moulding for the rear window. Just give it a quick sort of rub down and hit it with some satin black. Because the headliner colour, you know, the wrinkly headliner. I kind of want to re-tackle that headliner before I kind of put like this in and stuff like that. So, but anyway, let's get some rattle canning going on. Okay, so that's them rattle canned. Now they look glossy at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it's a satin. I didn't grab the wrong can, did I? General purpose black satin, yep. So that's all good. So we'll let them kind of set up a bit. It's apparently 15 minutes. I can't really do anything with them today. They're just going to have to get put aside. Probably on the storage car. So like if I didn't have that car cover on there, I would never have been putting stuff on the roof. And I don't know what it is about having the cover on there. It makes me think I can now store stuff on the roof of this car, and with sharp stuff pointing at it and things. So I'll just have a little bit of care in that. So now that they're painted, I don't really know where I'm going to put those, but I do have to get the stainless back out and give that a polish up, and there's a couple of little dents in a couple of places, so that might be next on the playlist of things to do for these garnish mouldings and custom console. Alright, so got our stainless trim that goes on those garnish mouldings, and there's a few little dings and stuff in them, but I'm going to have a go at trying to knock them down. And I've got this little kind of Teflon punch that I made years ago. Kind of working. Might just grab my other hammer. Might be about as good as I'll get that one. It's close. Oh, VL Commodore. Choice. Oh, this one here is pretty beat. This is the right rear interior. Man, she's kind of scratched up. But we'll start working our way. Start at one end and go through. See what we can do. This one's kind of quite ripply and bent and scratched, but it's under that fold, so I don't really know what I could do with that. Okay, so right up close. I don't know if you could see in the video there, but like some of these dents are, they kind of come out easier metal on metal, but you run the risk of stretching it up pretty bad. And this one here, it's got a dent right there, and again it's under that fold. But what I've kind of had a moderate success with the old screwdriver and the hammer is, as I sort of tap it, like tap tap tap, I'm sort of walking the screwdriver, so it's sort of walking along the dent sort of thing, and it's you know, just gentle taps, and it's just sort of walking the dent down a little bit, you know. Like so. So this screwdriver is magnetic, and it's trying to grab this thing behind me. When I say walking it, it's not like, you know, really walking it, it's just kind of like wiggling it, trying to just get it to slide across the dent. And I can get doing the same thing with my little Teflon punch thing that I made many moons ago. I found a piece of Teflon, cut a chunk off and sort of pinned it into that thing there, and it works reasonably good. It'd be good to have a variety of different sizes, is the only thing I kind of really like out of that. It's not bad across that face, but I just can't get really to those as much as nicely as I'd like. I've got a real good flat. It's probably a bit smoother. I've got this scraper. Might be able to use that to get that out a bit, a little bit. And the rest of that one's actually reasonably good order. Be alright with a bit of a polish and whatnot. This here lost the sharpness of that line through there. I wonder if I can pull that back. How do I do that? A die of some sort to tap into. What could I use for that? This might work. I don't know though. Described a bit of a scratch line to follow. Okay, the last one, we've got a couple of good dents right through there. Another little dent there. Of course, it's under that fold. And a little kink at this end. Might take care of that first. Might be able to get a bit of that one out with the old screwdriver, walking the line. Yeah, there you go. Still can't get that though. I wonder if I could get a little screwdriver and then just kind of pry it back. Nah, I don't think so. We need a bent thing. I wonder if I've got a bent screwdriver. Can I get that one? Maybe. Why are they all on this folded side? That's a pain. Alright. Polish, it'll be all good. Alright. Okay, so I'm just going to go over them all now with this grey Scotch-Brite stuff. It's equivalent to quad 0 steel wool. Okay, so who would have thought like sitting here sanding and Scotch-Briting stainless would be such a physically punishing job, but it is. This was probably the worst, well, in some ways. You still see dents and whatnot down there that I can't get to because of that fold. Probably work my way along that edge a bit more, but I'm just starting to push it out the other way, if you know what I mean. So you end up sort of sanding it down. You could get in there and file it and then go down through the paper grades and shit to get it down and then polish it, which is the kind of the process for repairing stainless trim and stuff like that. But it's pretty thin, and I reckon you have to be pretty good to get it to the point, you know, straight enough that you're just taking a little high spot down and then you're just sanding and polishing and stuff. Because if you know, I don't know what the thickness of this would be. It'd be less than 0.5 millimeter, so it's yeah, pretty thin, and you'd be kind of running out of material quite fast, I reckon. That dent there I couldn't get to again because of the other side. There's a few ripples and carry on up here, but it'll be alright. And what's this one? This is the driver's door, which is probably the best, fortunately, because it's predominantly going to be my door, so as long as it looks good from my end, we'll be all good. A few little kind of ripples down that end. They'd all had a bit of a beating in one way or another, and again, I don't know whether it's you know, like just the life it had before it kind of came off the road, or whether it's because these have been, all bar one of them was still on those garnish mouldings and they've been out of the car for years, so they've been getting, you know, moved around the previous owner's multiple storage facilities until they ended up at his dad's place. So they're probably getting kicked around and whatnot, and then kicked around here for the last 6 years. So yeah, that's how it is. Trying to decide now whether to kind of leave them in this kind of brushed finish, because I don't hate it, if you know what I mean, or whether I get in and start to polish them. The reason I'm thinking of leaving them in the brushed finish is because we've got the brushed aluminium on the old center console, you see. So if I polish these up, although we will have some chrome on the dash that won't be brushed, but then the dash is going to be glossier than everything else too. So I don't know. I don't really kind of know whether to give them in there, get in there with the auto sole and give them a bit of a what for with some polish and see how they come up. Might try a little bit and see what it looks like. You know, just kind of not a hard out polish, not a glossy polish, but just put some polish on there and rub it back and forth a couple of times, and it kind of makes the blemishes stand out more, I think. So I might just hammer this. If I've no mites about it, I'm going to leave it in the Scotch-Brite finish, you know, the quad 0 finish. can always take them off and polish them up, or you know, someone down the line, if I ever sell this car, you know, might take it off, take them off and give them to one of those old school buggers who will sit there for 4 days just hammering out one of these pieces, and they'll straighten it out and get to all of those dents that I didn't get to, and they'll hammer the bejesus out of it. Yep, that's us. Okay, so just putting these on, just having a look, see what it looks like. Basic, simple as, and just give them a little twist on the other side, fold the end tabs over. And that's it. Okay, so just had a revelation as to why my paint's kind of gone flat or semi-gloss. I was getting stuff out of the cupboard this morning, the old paint cupboard, and I found a tin of clear, that Landau clear or whatever it's called, and I thought, oh, I've already got a tin of clear, because I went and bought another tin of clear during the week, just a litre tin. I thought that'll be enough, and I thought, oh well, I'll use up this older tin first, and it had been opened but it was full. So I was kind of like, well, I don't know, I hadn't written anything on it, so I didn't think really too much about it, and just looking at the finish in that now, I have a recollection when I painted the 51. Now, I gloss cleared some of the down low stuff and I flat cleared up the top, like satin flat cleared. So I put a flattening base into it, and I think that was the leftovers from that. So that'll explain why it's got this kind of just satin sheen on it, which like I said, I don't hate it. This is quite suede sort of looking and feeling a little bit as well, especially the white. So like, it's not full gloss, but like I say, I don't hate it. Like oh my god, yeah, I'm pretty good with it. I'm just trying to think about what colour of a line I want to put down through here, you know, to break that line. It's not terrible, it's just where it did fuzzy out a bit, like up here and down here. I need to cover that up, and yeah, I was thinking gold would look really good, but there's no other gold on the car. So don't know, I don't think gold is the choice for this one. I was thinking sort of a darker sort of tealy colour or silver, but I haven't got any silver, so don't know. Could make some silver, just file a bunch of aluminium and chuck it in some clear. Nah. But yeah, I don't know, I'll put these other bits of trim on the garnish moulding and that, just keep myself going for now. I'm just about finished for the day, but I don't really kind of know what I need to think about that pinstripey, but I actually don't mind it just like that, but I did get a bit wonky up the top, so it does need a little bit of something. Who's, hey? I just thought I'd kind of loosely sit all that stuff in there. Just wanted to see what it looks like with that in there. And just been got the design committee from downstairs to come down, and we will pinstripe this. I'm just thinking about the colour that I want to put on it, that we can, you know, bring in, that works with the car. Got all the stainless on those garnish mouldings, so they're all just sitting there ready to go. But I think that's where we're going to leave it for this particular video, and this week most likely. Tomorrow I'm going to go and do some driving around in the old bomb truck, just because I mean, look at the state of it, it's dusty as, because it needs some love, and I need to get out of this little self-imposed exile cave that I spend way too much time in. But yeah, so that's where we're going to leave this one anyway. Overall, I'm actually pretty happy with this, and we've been talking about how it's gone flat and how I've figured out why it went flat, and that was my own doing. Normally I label tins when I do things like that, but for some reason I didn't. So I'm gonna grab a pen now so I remember. But yeah, I don't hate it, and the only kind of dilemma I'm at now is because we've got gloss on the dash and the steering column, and so it'll be from everything there back will be satin like that, and even these are like kind of come up in a sort of satin finish. They actually flattened out quite nicely, but you should have seen it when I put the paint on. Looked orange peely as. Commodore again. But yeah, so it's sort of, I like it. I am a little bit torn about having some flat satin and some gloss in the interior. It could be kind of picking it's nothing really. It might not be that big a deal. I could Scotch-Brite the whole dash and flatten that off, or I could polish all this up, because it will polish, or I could pull it apart and shoot it clear again with non-flattened based clear. Oh, what a dipshit though. But yeah, that's the thing, dilemma. I don't dislike it. I actually do I do like it. I didn't at first. I was like kind of bumming out a bit, but yeah. I have changed my tune. How about that? But yeah, so as I said, that's where we're going to leave this video. As always, thanks heaps for watching. Right, flat. Well, it's kind of a semi-flat. And yeah, as always, thanks heaps for watching. If you haven't subscribed at this point, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell if you want to get notifications of when a new video's up. Like, share, comment, let us know what you think about the gloss flat conundrum that I now have going on in the interior of the Area 51 through my own incompetence, sort of. Could be one of those happy accidents. I kind of think it is. I'm just not sure how it's all going to pull together, but cross that bridge when we come to it. Worst case scenario is I pull this interior stuff out and re-clear it. It's not that big of a deal. And yeah, don't forget dmatcustoms.com for all your merch for this channel, for the guy from New Zealand who can't string a sentence together. And don't forget Instagram, Facebook, for spamming you every week about up and coming videos, and sometimes maybe some other stuff. Maybe I should take some photos or something tomorrow when I go out to this thing and chuck it up on the old Facebook and the Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's it. So till next time, take it easy and peace. Next go around, I think I'm going to get back into that headliner, because I need to. See you then.